So hello YouTubers, welcome to the channel again, and it is Tuesday, and just going over the trades for the day, and somebody asked me at 6 in the morning, thank you Matt, how do you know when the market's going to change? So that's what we're going to go over today. Hit subscribe, and definitely comment on your thoughts about the market this week and where it's going. Alright, so the question is, how do you guess a bottom? And my answer to that is, please don't try to guess a bottom, because you're probably not going to get it right unless you got some inside scoop on something. They're very tricky to do guessing a bottom. So what I propose you do instead is follow your supports and resistance and find out what that level is, and when it breaks that support or resistance, depending if you're long or short, then hop into the trade. So don't try to guess the bottom and get that perfect number right on the dot. It's probably not going to happen. I think you're safer off placing in a pre-market order, let's say up in here on, this is a chart of soybeans 1 month, soybean oil, sorry. So right in here, you can see kind of the bottom so far is about $25. And then right here is the next kind of resistance level right in here. So if I wanted to buy it, I would place my pre-orders kind of right up into this 27.39 area, and I'd wait for the price to come up and take it out. Because if you want to look at the long term, let's say the 20-year, this might not be the bottom. It looks like a good price if you compare it to the last 5 years, but in reality, it could go all the way down to $19.80 or even further back in history, say 03, where it was 15 bucks. So don't try to guess the tops or the bottoms. It's not going to work on that kind of a plan. But better kind of put your orders in and then move your stop losses up or down, depending on which way you're going in this market. I personally think on soybean oil, it's probably going to keep going up. I mean, the average price for the last good few years has been around $31. So you kind of want to trade off of that knowledge. If you want to look at the 2-year graph, kind of split it in half, and you got about $30, let's say $29, $30, somewhere in this gap in area. And that's probably where the price will go back into. So we'll look at Bank of Nova Scotia. This is what I just traded with my tax-free savings account. Opened the account 2 years ago and just added the money, transferred over on Thursday and started buying Bank of Nova Scotia. There was a few reasons why I bought it. Number one, the dividend's at almost 7%. And the 52-week low was yesterday at $46. I bought it, I think, for $49 a share. And but you want to kind of look at the long-term look here from the 90s. And I drew these lines in just to give you a good idea of kind of where you want to be. If you don't have a Buckethead financial advisor, he would have put a stop loss in, or they could have put a stop loss in right around in here, following that trend line up. And then as the market dipped, you would have gotten out, and you would have, more than doubled your money on the way back up when you got back into the market. And of course, the same is with the top, as you can see right here. Pretty good line. So when it's approaching that line, it's probably going to go back down. And yeah, so that's kind of how I trade. And like I said, if you drew a line kind of coming up the side of it, you kind of can make it right into there. So right in there would be my stop loss. And then of course, anything kind of south of that, that's where the price could go, in my mind, and be a good bargain. Or it could go up from there. I'm not sure. Like I said, easier, depending on your plan, I should say. If your plan is to hold this long term like I am in my tax-free savings account, really not that important if you're getting a real bottom. It's more important that you're getting a price that you agree with and you feel comfortable with buying, according to your plan. And of course, before you get into any trade, you've got to know two things. Number one, what does success look like? And that in this case is going to be right up in here, which would be about $100 a share. I'll dump it at that point. And you can see even the timeline should match up with this. And that would be the new high. So I'll dump it then. And what does failure look like? And of course, I can probably demonstrate on soybean oil even easier if we go to the 1 month. So if it breaks this resistance level, I'm going to put my stop loss underneath this resistance level. And if it comes back down to that, I'm going to get out, because it could fall all the way back down into 2003 prices, which is $15. So that's kind of how I trade. Don't try to guess the bottom. More or less, just wait for the price to start coming back up, break that resistance level, and when it does, enter the market then. It's much safer to do than guessing your bottom. All the best with your trading. I know Donald Trump came out with some really neat subsidies, and we'll see how that affects the market. Bank of Nova Scotia is obviously up 10% so far today. Most of the stuff are in green. Is it a short-lived thing or a long-term thing? I don't know. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. Thank you.